Hi, I'm Chris Haigh and this is the Fiddle channel. Today we're going to play a lovely Latin number called Sway. Sway is a lovely number. It works really great for the violin, and I'm going to show you the basic melody and I'm going to show you a simple way to improvise over it. I think this tune was made famous by Dean Martin originally, but a lot of people have done versions of it, and it's a popular number for doing, for dancing, for background music, or if you want to show off on the fiddle. So, being a Latin number, the quavers are not swung, they're played straight. So, we start off with, which if it was swing would be, which is not a great idea on this. So, that little phrase comes before the bar line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Then we've got a second time bar which leads us into the bridge. Now if you don't want to do that in third position, you can go down to and then we're back to the beginning. There's a potential for confusion over the AABA structure, and sometimes people will go from the bridge straight back to the beginning, so it will be AAB. I think it's most common to do AABA, but just make sure that that is clear with whoever you're playing this with if you're doing it for the first time. Let's do the same thing again, basic melody but with the backing. Now before we move on to looking at a solo, I was doing a few double stops. So for the G note I was putting in a B flat. For the F note I was putting an A under it. And you can put an A note under the E and an F under that D. whether you do that depends partly on who you're playing with. If you're playing with a 9-piece Latin band with all sorts going on, then you can afford to leave it pretty sparse. If you're playing solo or just with one other player, then those harmonies are going to come in really useful. And you might refer to my old favourite scale of sixths, of which I have a video which will give you an easy way to work out harmonies on the fly as you're going through. When it comes to playing a solo, you can do most of it with just 2 scales. So the A section is mostly based around A or A7 and D minor. And if you play the D harmonic minor scale, then that's going to fit neatly over those chords. And if your accompanist slips in a B flat 9 or an A9 or any of those fancy chords, then that's going to fit just fine over that scale. So let me just play the A section and we'll just go up and down that scale. So that was working fine. You could also add to that some chromatic bits in the second part of the scale. So all of those notes are going to fit. But when it comes to choosing where to start your scale, on the A part, on the A chord, then the best place to play is around the A. And then when it comes to the D chord, start around the D note. So just by picking where you start and stop your phrases, you can keep well within that one scale. Same thing happens for the bridge, which is C7 and F. So the C mixolydian, which is a C major with a flattened 7th, is going to work fine. And that'll also work for the F major scale. So your C7 to F is going to work neatly within that, and then you're on to the A7 and D7 again, all the way through to the end. So let's just hear the bridge. And then back to the A. At the end of the bridge you have a little pause, and if you're soloing, then if you stick something in that pause which is really strong, either that A trill or a high E trill, better still, and you keep that going for a long time, it'll have a surprising effect. Let's just take it up to there. So if you're playing that with a band, with an audience, then you play that note and you hold it, and everyone, all of the band and all of the audience will turn around and look at you. And when you hold it all the way to the next chord, then people will be impressed that you actually did know what you were doing, that you hadn't had a mental breakdown. So find a good phrase and stick to it for a long time, and it will really work. So this is a great one for soloing and really quite easy. If you've got this legendary 9-piece Latin band, then you can play really sparse if you want, because there's so much going on in the background with these fantastic Latin rhythms and the harmonies, that you don't have to play a lot, but if you want you can be really busy. So I hope you enjoyed this. I can send you a copy of the scales and whatnot that I've added to this if you send me an email and subscribe, and I'll play you out with a little solo. Hope you enjoyed this. See you again soon.